summer for Team USA, and the aim was well focused. Reach a peak for the Calgary Winter Olympic Games in February. Though early autumn games against NHL clubs were tough, center Corey Millen displayed a determination that has typified the American skaters. That hustle paid off with a near-perfect record against college squads, and Captain Brian Leetch proved why he is a top pro prospect. There was more success in December against the Soviet selects, with Craig Janney illustrating here the definition of finesse. The surge was slowed in January by Canadian goaltender extraordinaire Sean Burke, while the American netminders were consistently under siege from their northern neighbors. Team Canada took 4 straight contests from the Americans in what turned out to be a humbling showdown for coach Dave Peterson and his troops. However, Janney's third period goal salvaged the final game with Canada, giving the U.S. hope that celebration would again become a regular ritual. The final prep for Calgary comes tonight in Denver, Colorado, because 5 nights from now, the results of 6 months' work will be revealed in the ultimate test, the Olympics. Tonight, live from McNichols Sports Arena in Denver, Colorado, Freedom Sports Network presents Team USA against Sweden. And a good crowd will look on at McNichols Sports Arena. This is the end of a very long road and also the beginning of a very short and crucial road for the United States hockey team. I'm Al Michaels, and so this is the 60th and final prep for the U.S. hockey team. They've had good success. Generally speaking, they've won better than 2 of every 3 games. They will go back to Colorado Springs tomorrow, turn the cars in and get the laundry back, and then head for Calgary on Wednesday and open up on Saturday. Working with me tonight, the former Ranger goaltender John Davidson. John, game 60 approaching, but game 1 coming up on Saturday. Who are the key U.S. players? Which players have to perform well for the U.S. to do well in Calgary?
Hal, I think the biggest key of all is for Brian Leetch to find defensemen to play well. And talking to the Swedish coaching staff, they, of course, played the Americans on Saturday night. The Americans won the game 9-7, and Brian Leetch was a big part of that game. He was the player that they were the most impressed with. The USA squad, of course, won the game 9-7. They scored 3 goals on the power play. There's Tony Granato, a Ranger property, scoring a goal. But they were very impressed with the fact that Brian Leetch has that ability to quarterback the power play, and as I said, they scored 3 goals on that power play. It's a good start for him.
You know, one thing Dave Peterson wanted to do was settle on a #1 goalie going into Calgary, but here it is tonight. Mike Richter is going to start. Chris Terreri will play. He still hasn't settled.
I think the one thing that's going to happen tonight, if Mike Richter has a good first half, Mike Richter may play the entire game, and I think that'll be a telling sign going into Calgary. They have plans of perhaps splitting the game, but Dave Peterson, the coach, did say, listen, if Richter's sharp, I may leave him in there. Richter has a chance to start the Olympics. He has to start tonight by playing well here.
Teams come up to the Olympic Games in different ways. The 80 squad was bombed by the Soviets 10-3 in their final prep. The 84 team looked pretty good on their way to Sarajevo, and then they were beaten by Canada and Czechoslovakia in games 1 and 2. A man with first-hand experience and a guy who's watched this team prepare is Mike Eruzione. Mike, how has this team looked to you as we approach the Olympic Games?
Well, Al, I'm still very impressed with this hockey team. I tell you, if history has any way of repeating itself, maybe this U.S. team should get blown out tonight. As you mentioned, in 80, we lost big to the Soviets in our last game. In 1984, the team played very well in Vienna leading up to the Olympic Games. So I'm excited about this team. It's the last game, but for a lot of these players, it's 3 years of work. So they've waited a long time. We're anxious, we're excited, and who knows what's going to happen.
Glad you're with us as the United States takes on Sweden from Denver. And tonight's game is brought to you by Dodge Cars and Trucks. When you're looking for a great performance on road or off, it's got to be a Dodge. By Kmart, America's favorite store and proud sponsor of the 1988 USA hockey team. By Sure Antiperspirant. Get sure and be just as sure about odor as you are about wetness. By Dianetics, America's #1 self-help bestseller. And by Wheaties, the natural goodness of 100% whole wheat makes Wheaties the breakfast of champions.
Introducing the all-new Dodge Dynasty, a contemporary 6-passenger family sedan. Witness the power of its available fuel-injected V6. Witness the room, ride, and comfort. Witness the value. Thousands less than you'd expect to pay for a sedan of its caliber. Dodge Dynasty, an amazing value with an amazing warranty. The all-new Dodge Dynasty.
We've been here too long already.
Kathy Durham looks cool under pressure. But just because her blouse is dry doesn't mean she smells good. Because Under Armour odor is invisible, she needs Sure Roll-On. Sure helps protect against wetness and kills bacteria that cause odor. So Kathy, why go to school with a dry blouse and a false sense of security? Tomorrow, use Sure Roll-On and be just as sure about odor as you are about wetness.
Thanks.
Hi, I'm Mike Frederick from Winter Chevrolet in Amherst, New York. During our Let's Make a Deals Day, we're going to reduce our gigantic inventory of new and used cars. For example, this 1985 Celebrity for $55 down and $125 a month. Or how about this 1982 Celebrity for $55 down and $75 a month? So what do? Pick up the phone and call us at Winter Chevrolet, 716-837-7600. Or better yet, come in and let's make a deal at Winter Chevrolet. What a place.
Open Monday through Saturday, 9 till 9, Sunday, 11 till 6.
You know that Roto-Rooter is the one name to remember when you have a clogged sewer, sink, or drain.
And you know you can count on us for fast service. On most calls, we get to your home in 1 hour. That's right, 1 hour service from Roto-Rooter. Expert sewer and drain cleaning, and 1 hour service from me, your Roto-Rooter man. See? Right on time.
And away go troubles down the drain. Roto-Rooter.
And so the final game on this 60-game trail approaches at McNichols Sports Arena, Denver, Colorado. And very little doubt in the minds of those around Team Sweden, John Davidson, that this man, Peter Lindmark, is their key to Olympic success.
He's very experienced, Al. In fact, he was the leader for this club when they won the World Championships in Moscow last year. Peter Lindmark, 31 years of age, a real stand-up goaltender, very good at handling the puck, something you don't see with European goalies.
For the United States, it will be Mike Richter. Now, again, as John mentioned at the top of the telecast, it's quite possible that if Richter gets off to a good start, he'd go all the way. Otherwise, as was the case on Saturday night in Colorado Springs, we would see him replaced by Chris Terreri. The referee tonight is Mark Rudolph, and the linesmen are Mark LaChapelle and Don Adam. And so the pregame festivities have concluded. Team USA's long road has just about concluded prior to departure for Calgary on Wednesday morning.
As far as rules go for this game, they have pretty much the same as the National Hockey League. Touch icing, two-line pass is called. One difference is the rectangle goal crease, which you don't see in the National Hockey League. And the other thing is, if teams both get a minor penalty, they both play a player shorthanded.
The United States starts with a line of Janney, Miller, and Snuggerud. Their number one line at the outset of tonight's game, and that's Eric Weinrich, the defenseman number 5, who was shelled by mononucleosis in December and early January, but looks sharp Saturday night in Colorado Springs. Snuggerud can't clear it. Janney takes possession of the puck, and the Americans start back the other way. Snuggerud comes in, and his slap shot is blocked by the Olympic veteran Samuelsson. And the Swedes with Sodergren trying to clear the zone. He can't. Laviolette keeps it in. Miller leaves it for Janney, who tried to get it back to Miller, but it was broken up. This is Eldebrink, number 2 to Eklund, number 4, and taken away by Snuggerud from the United States. Now Mark Donatelli picked up as he comes in over the right wing, and his pass taken away, and the Swedes are able to clear it out to center ice.
There's the biggest hitter on the U.S. team, Gosselin. He just banged one of the European Swedish players into the boards. The USA club here, Al, showing very good pace early. That's something the Swedish coaching staff became very aware of after seeing that game Saturday night.
That's Gosselin with a puck. He's normally paired with Brian Leach, who is an aggressive offensive defenseman, though his defensive skills are terrific as well. He's simply the best player on the squad. Donatelli couldn't get his stick on it, and it's cleared all the way down on net so it's a save for Richter, and Richter clears it the length of the ice. And icing is the call. He nearly shot it in on goal, but Lindmark alertly able to, let it go by and they get the icing call.
Dave Peterson, the head coach of the U.S. club. His assistant coach is Ben Smith. Another assistant coach, Jack Blatherwick, excuse me. Dave Peterson was a high school coach in Minneapolis at the Southwest High School for 27 years. And he said after the Olympics, going to go back home and take a rest, watch a little hockey. There's a couple of great tournaments that always happen this time of year around Minneapolis.
Retired school teacher not looking for a job in the NHL, and this is all over and done with. No score early first period. The U.S. in its final prep. They'll open up Saturday night against Austria in Calgary, and then a week from tonight meet Czechoslovakia, and then a week from Wednesday meet the Soviet Union. This is Norton, number 6, over to Brown, and his pass is knocked down by Erling, number 11.
One thing the Swedes did when they beat the Soviets in the World Championships was not forecheck too much, but try to break up the Soviets coming out of their own zone. And here you see the Swedes already, Al, dropping back between the blue lines and breaking up the U.S. team coming out of their own zone. We'll be back. A scoreless first period.
There are a million trucks like the one you bought.
Hey, nice truck.
It's okay. The trick is to make this one yours, and the place to make it happen is the Kmart Truck Center, where you'll find everything from toolboxes to running boards to seat covers at great Kmart prices. Kmart, for people who take trucks very personally.
Nice truck. Yours?
It is now. Kmart, America's favorite store.
Back in Denver, 17:48 to play in the first period. The two teams meeting for the second time in 3 nights. Swedish coach is Tommy Sandlin.
He is known as the Swedish professor of hockey. He's a deep thinker, and the assistant coach, Kurt Lindstrom, he is the liaison between the players and the head coach. He's the man with a little humor on the bench.
And again, the Swedes, defending world champions, though several key players on their world championship team are now playing in the National Hockey League, so it's a revamped squad. Eldebrink, he shoots and scores. Anders Eldebrink, their outstanding defenseman with a very hard shot, and he proved it right there with a slap shot as he takes the puck in the neutral zone, skates into the blue line, and fires away to beat Richter.
He skated the puck all the way through the neutral zone, had a lot of time to wind up, and you saw the defenseman put his stick out. That perhaps ticked the puck or else caused the goaltender to not quite expect the puck to come in a straight line towards him. That's Weinrich sticking his blade out. That went off the heel of his stick and beat Richter to the stick side. Eldebrink, the 28-year-old experienced player, perhaps the best defenseman on the Swedish club.
So the Swedes take a 1-0 lead, and at 9-7 encounter in Colorado Springs Saturday night, a seesaw game. The U.S. at one point led 3-0. Swedes came from behind to take the lead, and then the U.S. able to shut Sweden down in the third period, and they came from behind to win it 9-7.
That was the first shot on goal, or solid shot on goal, the Swedish club had in this hockey game. The Swedes coming here to play in this tournament in Calgary, of course, the Olympics, had struggled a little bit. They were beaten by the Finns twice in their own country before they came over to North America. For Richter, it's a test to see how he's going to recover after that first shot beating him, a long shot. It did deflect off the defenseman. We'll have to watch and see how it affects him.
No hands, go! Eldebrink from Sandstrom and Hjelm. They get the assist at 2:31. 1-0 Sweden.
Of course, Brian Leetch is the man most people will be looking at as far as this tournament goes. Jack Ferrara, who's one of the main members of management with the New York Rangers, said Leetch was one of the players in last year's World Championships who could have put on a Soviet jersey and played for the Soviets and played well, and that is a real compliment.
Let's get some early thoughts from Mike Eruzione. Mike?
Yeah, I'll tell you, the one thing that I think about is, I played against Sweden so many times, I'm amazed at the size of the team. This is a very big Swedish hockey team. And I talked to some of the U.S. players before the game, and they said, although they are big, they're really not a very physical team.
This is Gosling shooting it in, and Lindmark clearing it along the boards as Leetch is able to keep it in for the U.S. He sweeps it into Jenny. Craig back of the net. Jenny scrapping for the puck.
Go, go!
Comes loose to the near side. And Sweden with Eklund able to clear it. Nice back pass to Anderson. Anderson! He shoots wide. And the puck cleared out by the American team as Miller comes in over the blue line. Trailed by Jenny. Trying to center it. It was broken up by Eldebring. Kept in by Norton now. This is Brown, the youngest player on the team, shooting it in through the crease. Norton now into the corner. This is Johansson, number 24, with Donatelli. Johansson, Donatelli, and Stevens form this U.S. line. And the defense pairing is Norton and Brown. Norton back to set it up. Deflected pass, shot back into the U.S. end. Now the Swedes grouping at the blue line as the puck slithers into the corner. Erling is checked by Donatelli. Norton there to try to extricate the puck. And Johansson, along with Brown, keeping it in for the U.S. Up ahead to Stevens. Brown now leaving it for Johansson. And the Swedes with some good forechecking pressure here as the Americans are having difficulty getting the puck out of their own end.
The Swedes are not getting tied up at all, Al. They're always in constant movement, always chasing the puck. Nobody plays a particular lane. They just like to move around and stay in constant movement.
Moving, not really putting any pressure on Richter, but the U.S. now has been backed up in its own end for over a minute. 14:40 to play in the first period, 1-0 Sweden.
And the Swedes were able to make a line change without the Americans getting the puck out of the zone.
This is Hjelm for Erling, and the shot with the save by Richter comes back out to center ice. Lars Carlson starts it back in. Erling now shoots it around behind the net, where Richter is able to clear it along the boards, and the U.S. is finally able to clear the zone with Jones skating in. Jones trying to get a shot away, but he was taken out of the play by Peter Anderson. Now Alan Bourbeau into Scott Young, the versatile one who can play either forward or defense. Thomas Eriksson, he had it taken away, and Sweden now able to clear it out to center ice.
You mentioned Young can play forward or defense. Hartford wanted to play forward after the Olympics when he goes to their hockey club.
This is Hjelm, and a save by Richter as the Swedes set it up beautifully. Sandstrom got the shot away, but Richter was there to save it, and it's still 1-0 Sweden.
Talk to me, talk to me, talk to me.
They call New York the communications capital of the world. And whether it's data that banks use, television news, or stock market reports, it all travels on the telephone lines of New York Telephone, the communications company that New York depends on.
Talk to me, talk to me, talk to me.
The network of New York Telephone, the power behind the phone.
Sweden on top by a score of 1-0. The United States team has not had a shot on goal in the first 6 minutes and 20 seconds of this contest. And a slap shot from straight in front of the net, and a glove save by Richter.
And that's the 5th shot Richter has faced in the first period, and the 4th real solid shot, that one by the defenseman Kihlstrom. And you know, the Swedish club is not noted as a good club on faceoffs, yet they're winning faceoffs here in the first period. That puck was rolling, and that makes a more difficult save than what it first looked like. Richter come back strong after letting that first goal in.
Face off in the U.S. end, where much of the first period has been played to this point. This is Steve Leach. Cross ice to Lane McDonald out of Harvard to Brian Leach. Brian with a good move in over the blue line. His shot, and there's the first save for the Swedes. It's loose in front, and a penalty coming up. Penalty coming up on Sweden's Thomas Rundqvist, and so the U.S. will have a power play after the hooking call with 13:13 to play in the first period.
Fancy perfuming aftershave. It's got to be a quarterback's locker. Real guys who get mud on their uniforms use rugged, honest stuff. Ice Blue Aqua Velva.
There's something about today's Aqua Velva, man.
So you still think linemen are dumb?
the money that you spent on calls to your mother last month. You could have gone to visit her.
Okay, dear. I'll leave tomorrow.
Northwest can fly you to your mom, your aunt, or distant cousins at fares that can make flying cheaper than talking.
Brian Leach, Mr. Offense, makes the play as he goes to the net, and then the rebound is laying in front, and you will see number 9, Rundquist, with the hook, and the Americans go to the net and draw the penalty. Their power play, by the way, operating at 32.9%. There's Rundquist, a fine defensive player in the penalty box, hooking the call. The time 6:47.
And so the United States with a power play and trying to get even, and a most inauspicious beginning to this power play. Puck comes back out to center ice. U.S. has Craig Janney, number 15, and there's a two-line pass. Janney, Miller, and Snuggerud, along with Scott Young and Leach in on the power play.
And there's a good look at Craig Janney, excuse me. But Janney and Leach both grew up near Hartford. They were bitter enemies. They grew up playing youth hockey about 40 miles apart from each other. In fact, Janney grew up in Enfield and played high school hockey there. Leach in Cheshire, Connecticut. He played his high school hockey there. Now they're on the same club. Very close friends going into the Olympics in Calgary.
1:40 left in the penalty. Sweden on top 1-0 as Leach shoots it in around the boards. Snuggerud keeping it in, comes out to the blue line, and it came out. Leach tried to keep it in, but the puck just did slither out over the paint, and thus we'll have an offside and a face-off in the neutral zone.
Brian Leach, whom the New York Rangers expect to have on their hockey club right after the Olympics. He's a natural athlete, Al. He's excelled at tennis and baseball. He's got a handicap in golf of 8. He's just a natural athlete. He's a wonderful kid to talk to about hockey. His dad, of course, was an All-American at BC, Boston College. Brian played his college hockey.
Jack Leach, who was one of the very late cuts for the 64 team. 1:20 left in the penalty. It's Janney who couldn't get his stick on it, and Lindmark gets the save with a shot all the way down the ice, right on goal, saved by Richter.
The U.S. club is beating Sweden at the blue line. The Swedish club just don't seem to want to play the body. They're playing the puck with their stick, and the Americans are going through them.
Miller in over the blue line and swept back down the other end by the Swedes. And with 55 seconds left in the penalty, the United States still without a shot on Lindmark. Yeah, on this power play. Just one in the entire period. Janney behind, and the pass into the slot. Miller couldn't get his stick down, and the puck slithers off to the side, where Ehrling comes up with it, and he clears it out. 30 seconds now remaining in the penalty to Rundqvist. Sweden on top 1-0, 11:40 to play in the first period. Young starts this rush. Covered up by Lindmark.
If you look at Lindmark's goal stick, it's got what you call a Curtis curve right down near where the shaft of the stick joins the handle. You'll see a bend in that stick. And that's one reason why he's able to handle a puck very well, even though that time he had some trouble controlling it. But they say for Lindmark being a European goaltender, he handles a puck well. Watch the man come out of the corner, Janney. He can go right to the front, make that Leach. He tried the pretty pass across, and the man in front, Miller, was covered. Leach could have moved out by himself on that particular play. Al, over in Europe, of course, they play on bigger ice surfaces, and goaltenders don't get a chance to leave that goal crease much and handle a puck. Here in North America, they do, and that's usually why North American goaltenders are much better with the puck.
Meanwhile, Lindmark has not had to handle the puck very much because the U.S. still only has one shot in the entire period on goal, none on this power play, which only has 12 seconds remaining. And Donatelli fans on the shot, and it's cleared away by the Swedes, who will effectively kill it off. Rundqvist will be coming out of the penalty box now. And so the teams are skating at equal strength, and the U.S. did not get a shot on Lindmark during the 2-minute span. 11 minutes to play in the period. As the Swedes, Rundqvist was written out of the play. He couldn't get a shot off. Sweden able to keep it in. Norton chasing it as Richter shovels it along the boards to Norton. And now it is Johansson trying to clear it out, and he does get it to center ice, but brought back in by Hans Sodergren. Sodergren gets tied up and is able to backhand it in behind the U.S. net. still trying to clear and able to move it out to center ice now. Sodergren's shot is wide. Samuel's shot is saved by Richter. This is Samuelson, who was a 1980 Olympic veteran. Sodergren falls down. Brown scrapping for it. And we've got a whistle stopping play with 10:03 to play in the period, and we'll be right back after this message.
What would you get if you crossed an Oldsmobile like this? With an Oldsmobile like this, you get an Oldsmobile that really cooks. A Cutlass Calais with a remarkable quad-4 engine.
Halfway through the period, the U.S. with just one shot on goal. The Swedes have had 6, including the only goal of the period. Anders Eldebrink scoring 2.5 minutes in. Sweden on top. 1-0 in this game being played in Denver, Colorado. And Bourbeau is sent out of there with Scott Young taking the faceoff and winning it for the United States. Bourbeau, and he had to wait for Jones to stay onside, and the shot saved by Lindmark, who tries to sweep it away.
That was a great save. A catching hand save. He just knocked the puck down. What a quick shot that was by Bourbeau.
Now Eklund comes in, and he gets taken down, and we'll have a penalty coming up on the United States. Eklund sweeping in from the left wing was brought down, and so we'll have a penalty and a Swedish power play with 9:39 to play in the period.
Kmart knows that saving, say, 10 cents on a sink stopper isn't going to change your life. But add that 10 cents to the $15 you might save on a Garcia casting reel, to the $40 you might save on a Stanley garage door opener, to the $80 you might save on that Smith Corona typewriter, to the time you've saved by coming here first. And then you know why more people shop at Kmart than any other store.
America's favorite store.
Kmart, the saving place.
You will see the speed from that Swedish club, and this is a defenseman, Eklund, drawing the penalty, and the Americans will have the face-off in their zone. The Americans have been good killing penalties pretty much all year, as Peter Laviolette was the man drawing down Eklund. They've been operating at 83.9% on the penalty killing unit.
So Laviolette goes into the penalty box at the 10:21 mark of the first period. 1-0 sweep.
The Swedish club are just going to rotate their team here on the power play and penalty killing units, not use anybody in particular. And the reason now is because they know they're being scouted by most other clubs for the Olympics. When it comes Olympic time, they will set up special units for the penalty killing and the power play units.
So you're not going to show very much on the eve of the Olympic Games.
You know, over in Sweden, when they play Division I hockey, nobody is told that they're just a penalty killer. Nobody's told they're just a power play specialist. They all play every position, and there you see 83.9% penalty killing efficiency for the U.S. club, and that's a high number. In the National Hockey League, Hartford leads, and they're around 84%, so that's right on par with the #1 NHL teams.
1:48 left in the penalty to Laviolette. This is Bo Berglund at number 20. Setting it up from the corner. Berglund gets the return pass, and it comes out to Erickson. He whiffs on the shot, and it's cleared out, and Lane McDonald comes in, but he's offside.
You see that puck bouncing out there. This is a brand new ice surface in Denver, and it will get chippy and bump once in a while.
A reminder, there's the number, 1-800-592-6000 is the number if you'd like to contribute to Team USA, amateur hockey in the United States. Contributions benefit amateur hockey, players of all ages, officials, clinics, etc. And you can contribute by calling that number.
There's now 160,000 kids between the ages of 7 and 15 playing youth hockey in the United States, and it has come a long ways.
Let's get a word from Mike Eruzione.
Yeah, Alan, John, you were talking about the Swedish players, and nobody really plays in a power play or kills penalties. You know, one thing we have to remember about tonight's game with Corey Millen, Tony Granato, and Scott Fusco out of the lineup, or more so Millen and Granato out of the lineup, two of their special team players, especially on the power play.
Right now, the Swedes with 52 seconds left in their power play, and the U.S. doing a nice job killing it off to this point as Peter Anderson gets it over to Carlson. And here they come again as number 26, Lars Bolin, another of their Olympic veterans, up ahead to Peter Anderson. He skates all the way in. Anderson still in control, off the referee's skate, and then loose in front as Sandstrom falls down. The Americans are able to clear it out of there. Miller goes to his knees, shoots it into the corner. Donatelli giving chase, and Sweden coming back the other way now at 18 seconds, or attempting to, remaining in the penalty to Laviolette. So this will be their final rush. Cross ice to Rundqvist, and it's poked away by Donatelli nicely. Donatelli doing a good job as part of this penalty killing unit, and the penalty is now over as Laviolette comes out. The U.S. has killed off the penalty. Team skate at equal strength.
Excellent penalty killing by the Americans. They were aggressive, did not allow the Swedish club to set up whatsoever in that USA zone.
Sweden on top, 1-0. An early goal by the defenseman Anders Eldebrink from the blue line. 7:15 to play in the first period. Swedes have outshot the U.S. 6-4. Each team has had one power play. This is Eldebrink up ahead to Sodergren. And offside. Stevens was in over the line as Young was able to begin to attempt to get it into the Swedish end, and we'll have a face-off at center ice.
We're looking at number 2, Anders Eldebrink, the man who has scored the goal here in the first period. He has played in 4 different world championships and in 2 Canada Cups. A very solid defensive defenseman. And the coaching staff told us, Al, that he's one of the main keys for this Swedish club as far as the Olympics go. Their strength, by the way, is in goal and on defense. Not a lot of scoring up front.
And another of their strengths is the fact they are in a pool in which they're almost a lock to advance to the medal round. They're in the A pool. Sweden, Finland, and Canada would be the 3 overwhelming favorites of the 6 teams in that pool to advance to the medal round in Calgary. This is Leach shooting it in, carrying off the boards and in behind the net, off the icing call here. And we'll have a face-off down in front of Richter. Talked about that 16-goal outburst on Saturday, 9-7. The United States winning it. 10 of the 12 forwards had points. 3 of the 6 defensemen with points, and 13 of the 18 overall.
Tony Granato had 2 goals and 2 assists in that 9-7 American win. And as far as the Swedish players go, Sandstrom, Hjelm, and Anderson had 2 goals each in that hockey game. I should say that was Mikael Anderson.
Swedes were looking a little fatigued toward the end of that one, as much as they've flown from Europe after playing in Prague on Wednesday. They had a 28-hour flight to North America. Here comes Steve Leach and over the blue line. Leach skated in too far, and Lindmark is able to glove it.
See, once again, the U.S. club are trying to make that pretty play, and Lane McDonald was coming down on the left side, and everybody from Sweden went to him. Only the goaltender and the man with a puck, Leach. That's all there was. And you see in front, McDonald being covered, so it's a one-on-one, Leach and the goaltender. And Lindmark has shown me a pretty good catching hand here in the first period. He plays deep in his net. There's a little room on the short side as he's leaning, and Leach can't quite get it up over that shoulder. And then Leach was bumped into the boards behind the net. The goaltender was leaning. There was some room up there, Al.
So Lindmark gets the save. It's still 1-0 Sweden. Fusco scrapping for it. Number 9. Fusco tried to jam it in. Got it out in front of McDonald. Couldn't take advantage of the pass. And the U.S. trying to keep it in, but the Swedes now able to clear it out to center ice. Furling. Nice pass, and then the shot goes up over the glass and into the crowd off the stick of Mikael Johansson.
Johansson tried to release that puck so quick he couldn't be very accurate with a shot, and it went over top of the net into the stands. The Americans, I think, did get a shot on goal here. I believe McDonald gets the shot as Fusco sets him up. Look at the left leg right there of the goaltender Lindberg. What a fine save. He is their best player, and in the first period here, he's showing why he's the best player.
U.S. had only one shot on goal in the first half of the period, but right now the U.S. has outshot Sweden 7-6. Still, Sweden leads 1-0. 5 minutes and 43 seconds remaining in the first period in Denver. Janney back to Laviolette. Now Snuggerud takes possession at center ice. Janney loses it for the moment as Hildebrink has it taken away by Weinrich. Laviolette caroms the pass up ahead for Kevin Miller. Miller to Snuggerud. He couldn't get his stick down. And the Swedes clear at the length of the ice. And we'll have an icing call coming up as Laviolette gets there first. And with 5:13 to play in the period, we'll return right after this message.
A little potatoes, a little gravy.
The peas are the best. They're so crispy.
The turkey's always very moist. I'm talking only about Swanson. The Swanson turkey dinner.
Turkey! It's really flaky and tender the way turkey's supposed to be.
Oh, delish.
Reminds me of Thanksgiving.
The quality is there. I love that Swanson combination.
20,000%.
Hey, always come back to Swanson.
It's safer than having me cook.
When you're not home cooking turkey dinner, Swanson is.
Gobble, gobble.
Happy Thanksgiving.
McNichols Sports Arena in Denver, Colorado, just across the parking lot from Mile High Stadium, home of the AFC champion Denver Broncos. This arena, the home of the Colorado Rangers, the New York Rangers Farm Club.
Coached by Peter Mahovlich, former NHL great.
And also the home of the Denver Nuggets of the NBA. So they see some high-scoring contests in here, but not tonight thus far. 1-0 Sweden, 5:07 to play first period.
Swedish club has done better here in the first period than I thought they would on faceoffs. During that game at Saturday night in Colorado Springs, the Americans scored 3 goals just because they won faceoffs and then converted that puck into an offensive play and into a goal.
Jim Johansson in on the faceoff for the U.S. Now Brian Leetch. And it's deflected over the glass and into the seats.
There's a good look at Peter Lindmark. He's had problems with injuries. He had knee surgery during the seasonal holidays around Christmas time. He's also had some rib problems, and he's only played in 4 games since Christmas, but they know that he's the #1 man. He was fabulous when Sweden won the World Championships in Moscow last year.
Swedes, by the way, were 3rd at the Izvestia tournament this past December. The tournament won in a surprise by Canada, with the Soviets finishing 2nd. Sweden now with Thomas Eriksson, leaving it for Hans Sodergren, and he's taken down by Brown. Up ahead now to Donatelli. Drop pass for Johansson, and his shot is blocked in front. Rundqvist working.
Kevin Stevens took a body check you wouldn't believe to set up that offensive chance.
Now Leach with a beautiful steal. Skates in alone. Tries to center it and deflected away by Carlson. Boy, just watching Leach, though, you can tell with his moves why he is just universally regarded as the best hockey player on this team.
You see him go to the outside with a puck a lot. He has the speed, obviously, to set up his offensive plays, and he brings people out of the seats.
Now Pettersson has trouble controlling it. Around and cleared out, but cleared out past the blue line. And Peter Anderson goes back to regroup. Sends it up along the boards to Pettersson. Cross-ice pass now to Carlson. Carlson comes in onside. Can't get his shot away. It's broken up by Brown for the United States. They scrap for it along the boards.
Look at that Swedish club. Three different yellow sweaters there. They don't play very disciplined. They like to roam, I see.
3:26 left in the period.
Oh, for a warm and cozy castle, insulated safely from the cold of winter. Cold cuts? Oh, for Insulsafe 3 from Certainteed. Pure white fiberglass insulation, thermally efficient, non-combustible. Oh, warm. For year-round comfort. Help protect your home or castle. Insulate safely with Insulsafe 3. Call your insulation contractor now.
Stevens was bumped walked into the boards, but still moved the puck across, and the Americans with the 2-on-1 and the defenseman down to block the shot. Donatelli couldn't get to that rebound quickly, but another 2-on-1 set up with some good passing out of that USA zone, that last one by Stevens. And you see the defenseman for the Swedish club here. They played a fairly solid period, and they like to block shots, I see.
Sweden still leading 1-0 on an early goal by Anders Eldebrink. U.S. has outshot Sweden 7-6. Each team has had one unsuccessful power play in the first period, and we have 3:20 remaining in the period.
The Swedish club has 5 players from the '84 Olympic club on this team. Look at Leach with that steal. Look at this Smarts, how he picked off that pass, and the puck won't lay down for him. That's why he didn't get a good shot on goal. Once again, this is a new ice surface here.
Shot from straight on, saved by Richter.
Again, that's Eldebrink with a big shot. He has the only goal, and once again, Al, the Swedish club winning faceoffs. And they get that shot just because they won the draw.
And Richter that time equal to the task, making his 6th save.
Richter from Flowertown, Pennsylvania. His idol is Bernie Perrant. He likes to stand up like Perrant.
And again making the save, this time with a stick.
I think that's enough for the coaching staff. There's going to be a quick line change here. The Americans could try and win a draw. Mike Richter with another good save and a save off of the rebound. You'll see the puck drawn back, the puck rolling again when it's shot, and Richter stays for the save on the rebound as he covers up. I mentioned Bernie Perrant, the fine goaltender who used to play in Philadelphia. He has helped Richter and chatted with Richter about his play. There's the original shot, and there's a loose man from the faceoff that takes the shot.
Samuelson shot and another save by Richter, this time with his glove. So he's made 3 saves in a space of about 10 seconds.
And all 3 times he's handled the puck pretty well. Twice he controlled it, so there was not a rebound. And the middle shot, he put it into the corner, and the Swedish player got there quickly.
And it could be that Richter is playing for the opening night assignment against Austria. I think in his own mind, Dave Peterson knows. He's just not saying publicly at this point. I get a feeling it's going to be Richter unless Richter has the all-time dog here tonight.
I think Richter will play, and that's why he started in this hockey game.
This is Kevin Miller, unable to get control of it at center ice. Sandstrom skates in all the way in, and the puck is loose in front after the save by Richter, finally cleared out by the Americans as Janney tries to get it up ahead to Leach and is caromed back out to center ice.
Ulf Sandstrom, a 20-year-old. They want him to do some scoring for the Swedish club. Twice now in this first period has gone to the outside, and Richter has beaten him with good saves.
Gosselin in that collision with Yelm as Yelm goes to the ice, and now this is Leach behind the net for the U.S. He starts it up ahead to Gosselin and then gets the return pass. Rundqvist is there to meet him at the red line, and it's Janney now picking up the loose puck for Stuggerud. Stuggerud standing on the shot. Rundqvist back to get it up ahead to Sodergren. Sodergren skating it over the blue line. Can't split the defense. Stevens comes up with a loose puck and gets it over to Donatelli. Donatelli in on the right wing. Pounded. Loose in front. And the shot by Johansson. Saved by Lindmark. Loose puck. Johansson got his stick on it. Got a good shot away, but Lindmark was right there.
The puck bounced a little bit, and when it bounced and he shot it, it went straight up into the goaltender. You'll see 2 Americans here. There's the shot by Johansson as he rushed it. And Lindmark makes another save and another play with no rebound. The Americans quickly getting to loose pucks here in the Swedish zone. 2 of them there and not 1 rebound from that man, 31-year-old Lindmark. Lindmark, of course, some people say, why has he never played in the National Hockey League? Some say he gets lazy during the offseason, doesn't train as hard as he should. And he's been a late blossomer, 26 years old when he blossomed into the key goaltender for the Swedish club. And is he good?
And he has made 9 saves in this first period, as has Richter. The only goal belonging to the Swedes, Anders Eldebrink. 1:41 to play. First period. Crowd comes to life at McNichols as Norton shoots it in along the boards, and Lindmark comes all the way out of the nets to clear it along the boards. But turns to the crease, centering pass in front. Johansson couldn't get the shot on goal. And Sweden retakes possession. Up ahead to Pedersen. He loses it at center ice. Stevens trying to get it to Bourbeau, and he was in ahead of the puck offside.
The U.S. club showing some emotion here now, late in the first period, just 1:12 remaining. You know, this man, Elderbrink, he is a little slow on the ice. He's had 2 knee operations. He's had a broken foot in previous play, but he is smart, and he is a team leader. He's a very good leader in the dressing room between periods. And again, the coaching staff realized that he's one of their major keys come Olympic time.
1:12 remaining in the first period in Denver. Sweden on top. Early goal coming 2.5 minutes into the period by Anders Elderbrink. It's the only scoring. 1-0. Eriksson hits it back to center ice, and losing his stick is Laviolette, but he's able to shovel the puck up ahead. Laviolette gets a new stick from the bench and goes back on defense as the shot is blocked by Weinrich off the stick of Bo Berglund. And he's tied up along the boards. And our first little mini scrap of the night begins to take place.
Move. Go.
Not much action. A reminder, halftime or I'll be all right. It's a new season, folks. Between periods, I just want to see if you were listening. Between periods, Mike Eruzione will be talking to Art Berglund, who is the general manager of Team USA.
You have to watch those forward 2-line passes, huh?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Once you're across the line of scrimmage, you know it's illegal. 43 seconds to play in the first period. Gosselin shoots it around the boards to McDonald. Swedes get possession at center ice now as number 25, Michael Johansson, loses it to Leach. He couldn't get it over to McDonald. 20 seconds now remaining. Takes possession.
Gosselin with another big check. He was a linebacker when he went to school, and you can tell he loves the hits, and he uses all of his body. He has the leg drive when he has those body checks. That goaltender, I mentioned he likes to leave the crease and handle the puck. He's pretty good with it.
And that's the end of the first period. So, Richter allowed an early goal on a 60-foot slap shot by Anders Elderbrink, and then made the save on every other shot. Total of 9 saves in the period, and 9 saves for Peter Lindmark in a good first period. And at the end of 1 in Denver, Colorado, Team Sweden leads Team USA 1-0. We'll be back.
Think we're gonna make it? If this thing does. Well, at least we're flying back in a 747. Aren't we?
Northwest has an all 747 fleet to and from the Far East.
Yeah. Harry, Kalamazoo Tuesday, I can do that. Memphis Wednesday, I can do that. New York Thursday, I can do that. How am I going to do that?
No matter where you do business, Northwest can fly you there.
Dianetics by L. Ron Hubbard. Buy your copy at B. Dalton's, Walden Books, or wherever paperbacks are sold. A fresh look at today's problems.
This is what other muffler shops give you free with one of their brake jobs. And this is what Speedy gives you free with one of our brake jobs. 2 heavy-duty shocks installed. So now, whether you come to Speedy or go someplace else, all depends on which freebie you prefer. The Speedy Brake Special, a brake job for as low as $64.95 and 2 free shocks. More proof that at Speedy, you're a somebody.
I think when you're skating in the Olympic Games and you put the USA jersey on, it's a great feeling of satisfaction, knowing that you're representing your country in an athletic environment against the other nation's best athletes. And when you step on the ice, in our case in Lake Placid, they're chanting USA, USA, and you look down and you have that USA jersey on. I mean, you know, you're representing everybody. It's a great feeling. It's a very special feeling.
McNichols Sports Arena in Denver, Colorado, where Team USA is wrapping up its pre-Olympic schedule. This is game number 60. The team will depart for Calgary on Wednesday morning and work out in Calgary Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, and then open their Olympic schedule on Saturday night at the Saddledome against Austria. And so for more of an update as to what's been shaken with the team and how it looks, the general manager of Team USA, Art Berglund, is our guest, and let's go to Mike Eruzione.
Well, thank you very much, Al. You know, we've been able to talk throughout the course of the year with Dave Peterson, with Bob Johnson, the executive director of the Amateur Hockey Association. Now we're going to have a chance to talk with Art Berglund, the general manager of this year's Olympic hockey team. Art, this is it. Tour's over. 2 more periods. How's it going?
Well, Mike, it's been a long year, but a fun year, and we've had a great tour. This is day 186, and in 206, the torch will be out. But we've been from Maine to San Diego, from Tacoma, Washington to Providence, Rhode Island, to War Road, Minnesota, Minneapolis, and here we're in Denver today, and it's been a great tour, and we think we've done a great job of exposing USA hockey, and I know a lot of our players have had a great experience of their life, and we're just delighted to finish it up here in Denver in this time zone and be heading up to Calgary here.
Art, you know, I know you've been involved with so many other Olympic teams and so many different programs, national teams. How has it changed over the years with Team USA? I mean, this tour is something that's kind of started in '80, but I remember in '76 they didn't have this type of an opportunity.
Well, we had a similar tour in '76, Mike, but I think the key thing is the Olympic training centers in Colorado Springs. You were a part of those sports festivals, and the fact that we started in North Carolina, starting to identify our top 80 prospects, and now under the Amateur Hockey Association with President Waller Bush and Executive Director Bob Johnson, we've got these ongoing programs. We had our midget team in Quebec, we had a junior team in Moscow at Christmas, and we've got an ongoing program now, and we think with this type of tour that the young players of America are emulating and want to wear the USA jersey and repeat the experiences that you had and that these players have had.
You know, as I said, it's been a long year. We open up next Saturday in Calgary against Austria. What do you expect from this hockey team?
Well, you know, Mike, we're not trying to repeat your gold medal performance in '80, and we're not trying to make amends from the '84 team. We're trying to be our own hockey team and go up there and put on a good show. We know we can skate with any team. We know Dave Peterson, Ben Smith, Jack Bladwick have got these players prepared to play in the games. We've been shooting for it. It's an American dream, and you know, we can have cynics and critics, but hey, our players got dreams, I got dreams, and certainly we're going to do the best job we possibly can.
All right, I wish you all the best. Again, we're here at McNichols Arena after 1 period of play. Team USA trailing Team Sweden by a score of 1-0.
Dodge Dakota 4x4. When you consider that it comes loaded with the best truck warranty on or off the road, more available payload than any competitive compact 4x4 in the country, and a fuel-injected V6 engine S10 and Ranger charge extra for, it's easy to see. Only one size 4x4 has it all. It's gotta be the mid-size Dodge Dakota.
Save up to $2,400 with cash back and Prospector package discounts on selected trucks in stock.
Fancy perfumey aftershave. Gotta be a quarterback's locker. Real guys who aren't afraid to get mud on their uniforms use rugged, honest stuff. Ice Blue Aqua Velva. Its icy blue formula makes your face feel great after shaving, and Aqua Velva's got a scent that a lot of fans find attractive.
Very attractive. There's something about today's Aqua Velva man.
So you still think linemen are dumb?
Hi, I'm Mike Frederick from Winter Chevrolet, Amherst, New York. During our Let's Make a Deals Day, we're going to reduce our gigantic inventory of new and used cars. For example, this new Spectrum for $55 down and $135 a month. Or how about this new Sprint for $55 down and $135 a month? So what do? Pick up the phone and call us at Winter Chevrolet, 716-837-7600. Or better yet, come on in and let's make a deal at Winter Chevrolet. What a place.
Open Monday through Saturday, 9 till 9, Sunday, 11 till 6.
Hey, Irv Weinstein, Eyewitness News, how are you? Mary McCombs, I watch you all the Rick Azar, great. Tom Jones, my favorite weatherman. And Live at 5's Ann Edwards and Keith Radford. This is too much. And Linda Pellegrino and Anthony Moore. Must have been an important call. Mark Cooper.
Nobody has more of the best news people in Western New York than Eyewitness News.
Laurie Lasowski.
If it's Eyewitness News, expect the best.
The line was busy.
Team USA made. We always talk about the Chicago Bears and their video. Well, this hockey team made a video, and it's called This Time for Sure. If you missed it before, I'm sure you'll enjoy it this time.
And I don't want you to be afraid to go in and shoot. Too easy lap. Get all the pucks into the
Cold sheet of ice, lined with red and blue. Wait for the team with a one thing to prove. Hard work and sweat, flashing sticks and blades, playing for the top, and the world is their stage. Team against team, man against man. Team USA, make it our stand. Echoes fill the air, countdown ticks away. Gold, silver, bronze for the Team USA. We're on our way. It's time to show. Team USA. Ooh, we're here to stay. This time to show. Team USA. We'll climb this mountain together. Nothing can stand in our way. The dream is closer than ever. Team USA, we're gonna reach for a sure thing. All our dreams come true. We're gonna reach for a sure thing. Team USA, we'll climb this mountain together. You work and you sweat and you play. We gotta reach for a sure thing. All our dreams come true. We gotta reach for a sure thing. Team USA, we're gonna reach for a sure thing. Team USA, we gotta reach for a sure thing. Team USA. Team USA. Team USA.
There are a million trucks like the one you bought.
Hey, nice truck.
It's okay. The trick is to make this one yours. And the place to make it happen is the Kmart Truck Center, where you'll find everything from toolboxes to running boards to seat covers at great Kmart prices. Kmart, for people who take trucks very personally.
Nice truck. Yours?
It is now. Kmart, America's favorite store.
Get a fully automatic 35mm Kodak camera, free, when you buy 10 rolls or more of Owens Corning pink fiberglass insulation.
Fancy perfumey aftershave. It's got to be a quarterback's locker. Real guys who get mud on their uniforms use rugged, honest stuff. Ice Blue Aqua Velva.
There's something about today's Aqua Velva man.
So you still think linemen are dumb?
It's the great annual variety celebration benefiting the 25th anniversary Variety Club Telethon, starring Yakov Smirnoff, Russia's gift to the world of comedy, plus Buffalo's first family of music, the Shentas, Michael Jackson dancer Christopher, the magic of Brian Cale, world hula hoop champ Matt Plendle, plus the music of Buffalo Swing, Saturday, February 20th at Shays Buffalo. Pick up a discount voucher at any Western New York Chrysler Plymouth dealer. Tickets available at Shays box office and all Ticketron locations.
What's behind the dramatic increase in the number of cesarean births? Are doctors performing unnecessary C-sections to cut their risk of malpractice suits and to make more money? Health Watch reporter Mary McCombs examines the controversy.
If the outcome is good for the mother and the baby, that's really what we're all after.
Watch the debate over unnatural birth tomorrow night at 6 on Eyewitness News.
Well, welcome back here to Denver, Colorado, McNichols Arena, where after one period of play, Team Sweden leading Team USA by a score of 1-0. Hello, everyone. I'm Mike Ruzioni, along with my good friend John Davidson. And, John, it was an interesting first period. Sweden really kind of taking control early in the period, but U.S. came back a little more at the end.
You have to remember this American club have to release 2 players before the Olympics, and it will be 2 of the players I would think that maybe in the lineup tonight, who knows. But that has to put a little added pressure on these people going into the game, and I think once they got hitting a little bit around the midpoint, they started to carry the play somewhat, and both goaltenders were very good. I thought that was a fabulous period.
Well, I'll tell you, it's interesting because this is the last game for these players, and they are a little nervous. Nobody wants to get hurt, and Sweden was the first team to draw first blood.
It was an interesting play. It's a long shot, and Mike Richter hadn't had any work. And we'll watch number 5, the defenseman Weinrich. And what he wants to do here is make sure he gets himself out of the way so Richter has clear vision, a good alley to watch that puck. But watch the puck just ricochet off the heel of the stick, and that's enough to change direction, and that beat Richter. Now, that was a goal by Elderbrink, and he has a rocket for a shot. He's a veteran player, 28 years of age, and you could see it during that play. He had a big shot.
Well, after that, Sweden had 3 real good scoring opportunities, and Mike Richter came up with some real big saves, and then kind of momentum turned a little. The U.S., as you said, maybe got the butterflies out of their stomachs a little, got rid of the anxious moments, and came on and had a few good chances against Sweden. Lindmark, as you mentioned, made some fine glove saves.
He made saves all over the place. He's a smart goaltender. He handles the puck well. He reads plays well. When we see this first shot, it's going to be set up here. Watch Stevens get hit into the boards here. Stevens for the American team. Boom! He gets hit to set up a pass. It's a 2-on-1, and perhaps the U.S. club getting a little fancy here. The defenseman blocks the shot, and you'll see now a defenseman carry the puck out of the zone. Rundqvist, you'll see him take it right out of the zone himself. And he'll make a play in the neutral zone, and watch Brian Leach, Mr. All-World as far as hockey goes. Watch his smarts. There's the pass. Who's there? Brian Leach. That sets up another scoring chance for Team USA. Look at the puck. It won't lay down for them. That ice surface was not that terrific during the period. Again, you have to give the Swedes credit. There was offensive rushes by the American club, and the Swedish club, they're strong in goal, very strong on defense, and their defensemen broke up both those plays.
Well, again, that's what we talked about early in the game. When we talked to the Team Sweden coach today, he said one thing he does have is 6 good defensemen. They're not a real good offensive team. They have to play tight defensive hockey, even though that other game was 9-7. Hey, that's one period of hockey. Al, there's another one coming up. Let's go back to you.
Okay, Mike, and it's quite in contrast to the way these two teams performed the other night in Colorado Springs when it was a shootout and the United States won it by a score of 9-7. The U.S. has been involved in a lot of high-scoring games of late. The defense has been of some concern to Dave Peterson, but the defense looked pretty sharp here in the first period. The only goal coming, of course, early on when Sweden made it 1-0 2.5 minutes into the first period. So let's take a look now at the CB Sports scoring summary. And it's quite brief with Elderbrink, 231. Sandstrom and Hjelm getting credit for the assists. Shots on goal, Sweden with a total of 10. So Richter had 9 saves. And the United States with 9 shots on goal, 8 of those 9 coming after the midway mark in the first period, because we pointed out at about the 10-minute juncture of the first period that the United States had only one shot on goal, and in fact in their only power play opportunity in the first period, the United States did not have a shot on goal, and then 9 over the last 10 minutes of the first period. So at the end of the first period of play here at McNichols Sports Arena in Denver, it is Sweden 1, Team USA nothing. And tonight's game is being brought to you by Kmart, America's favorite store and proud sponsor of the 1988 USA hockey team. And by Ice Blue Aqua Velva. Its cool and refreshing formula makes your face feel great after shaving. And the rugged, honest scent says there's something about today's Aqua Velva man. So the second period is coming up at McNichols Sports Arena in Denver with the score 1-0. Sweden. At the Olympics now, which begins Saturday, there's the A pool. It is designated the A pool because it features the world champion Swedish team. So they are in effect seeded #1. Thus this becomes the A pool. Canada, Poland, Switzerland, Finland, France, and Sweden are the 6 teams. Of those 6, 3 will advance to the medal round. The B pool features the United States, Austria, Czechoslovakia, the USSR, Norway, and West Germany. And in fact, as you look at that graphic, the United States will meet those teams in that order, including Austria on Saturday night in the opening game of Olympic competition for Team USA. There is the entire schedule. Saturday, Austria. Then Monday night, the United States takes on Czechoslovakia. A week from Wednesday night, February the 17th, the U.S. team will be taking on the Soviets. That's in contrast now to Lake Placid when they met in the medal round. February 19th, Norway. February 21st, West Germany. And you know, John, as you look at that schedule, if everything goes according to Hoyle, the U.S. would beat Austria, they would lose to Czechoslovakia and the Soviets. They'd beat Norway, and then perhaps that game against West Germany, the final game of that preliminary round, could determine the 3rd team to advance to the medal round.
Absolutely, that will mean a lot. I think, without question, the Soviets have to be the #1 club actually going into this Olympic series in Calgary. The Czechs will be tough, the Americans will be tough, and West Germany will be a huge game for them without question.
Mike, what do you think?
Well, Al, you know, it's interesting. I agree with everything you said and always thought that was the case. But talking to Ben Smith before the game, the assistant coach for Team USA, and they're going to be a little concerned about Norway. They've got very good reports from Alaska, of all places, that Norway has a very, very good hockey team. And remember, in '84, Norway tied Team USA, the Olympic team, in the game. So, you know, you can talk about West Germany and the Czechs and the Russians, but watch out for Norway, maybe.
In 1980, if I'm not mistaken, Norway led the U.S. 1-0 at the end of the first period.
Exactly, and then Herb came in and kind of told us some things and changed our attitude a little.
Can you repeat them?
Later on, I will.
Okay, after midnight?
Well, you got to look at a good look there at Ben Smith, who was an assistant coach at Boston University, a school that I went to, and out of Yale University. Nice guy, local guy out of Boston. Every time we get a chance to talk, we talk about the Red Sox and Gloucester High School, where Ben is from. So he had some interesting thoughts on the schedule.
It's interesting how Norway and Austria are training up in Alaska. And for Norway, that must be almost like the homeland. The Americans training here in Colorado Springs, and in Denver for the altitude reasoning. Calgary is at 3,000 feet above sea level. Here, of course, Denver, the mile-high city, they will be dropping in altitude when they get to Calgary.
The West Germans are already in Calgary. In fact, I was watching them work out Saturday at the Saddle Dome.
Isn't that a beautiful facility?
Yeah, terrific. That's where most of the Olympic hockey will be played. So here we go. In the second period now, 1-0. Sweden on top. Laviolette scrapping for it. And the loose puck dug out by Weinrich. Kept in by Sweden. This is Anderson behind the net. Bergqvist now circles back, tries to center it, and can't. It's broken up by Janney, who gets it up ahead for Kevin Miller, and he has it taken away by Samuelsson, the longtime Swedish veteran. Some of these Swedes played on the 1980 Olympic team and others on the '84 squad, and a tremendous amount of international experience almost top to bottom on the roster of Team Sweden. Slap shot and the first save of the second period for Richter. Sweden keeping it in. Bouncing puck is swept aside by Weinrich. Johansson, and then off the skate finally of Tom Eklund, back down and pushed back out to center ice by Lindmark. Nicely up ahead, and the shot is deflected by Gosselin. American team can't clear the zone. Eklund gets it over to Rundqvist, whose shot is deflected wide.
That last 3-on-2 for Sweden was because the goaltender moved it up the ice quickly, and the Americans were making a line change.
Now Brad Jones comes flying in over the right side. Jones can't get the shot off, and the net comes off its moorings, and we have a stoppage of play with 1:40 having elapsed here in the second period. Still 1-0. Sweden.
Dodge Shadow ES. When you look at its 60 standard features, its turbocharged engine, its 770 protection plan, when you consider the fact that the Shadow ES is a better value, almost $700 less than the Chevy Cavalier C24, you'll agree, when it comes to outstanding value, it's gotta be a Dodge. The Dodge Shadow ES. Gotta be a Dodge.
Here we see the goaltender get the puck. Now the defensemen for Team USA are changing quickly. Leach is rushing to get back into the play, and that sets up. There's two blue getting back into the play, and that sets up a scoring chance for Sweden. Look at Jones to the outside. The Michigan graduate moves in on the goaltender, and he was banged by Schielstrom into that goal. Jones played for 4 years at Michigan under Red Berenson.
Shot by Brown was wide. Norton able to keep it in for the moment. Bourbeau can't wrest possession of the puck, however, and the Swedes will be able to clear it out. And the shot comes in right on Richter for the easy save. Brown up along the boards, too far for Jones, but it's left there for Bourbeau, and then Jones is in offside, and we'll have a face-off.
Second period starts with some real good pace to it again as you look at Scott Young. And as I mentioned in the first period, and talking to the Hartford people where he was drafted to, they want him to play forward when he does get there. He's been used on the point on the power play here in this game. Remember 1980, Al, Herb Brooks used Dave Christian on the point on the power play. In 84, Lou Vero used Bobby Brook on the point on the power play.
Bouncing puck and a save by Richter. Back out to center ice. Hildebrink, who has scored the game's only goal, to the circling Ulf Sandstrom. The youngster shoots it in around the boards where Richter leaves it for Laviolette. He can't clear it. Comes out to Samuelson at the point and deflected there and taken away by Stevens. Up ahead to Leach, and his pass for Fusco is deflected and taken away by Samuelson. It gets checked into the boards by McDonald. Shot goes in. Michael Yelm, number 14. Mikael Yelm scoring.
Yelm scores a goal. Twice he has said no to the Philadelphia Flyers. He stayed in Sweden, and we'll watch the USA club get control of the puck, and then it's given away right there by Weinrich, and that turnover creates a goal. He goes down desperately trying to block that shot by Yelm, and that perhaps screens the goaltender. It beats Richter to the stick side. Weinrich tried his best to get back into the play, but couldn't do so.
Coming at 2:45 of the second period. Yelm scoring for Sweden. They lead 2-0. Gosselin able to check Eriksson. Kept in, though, and deflected high off the stick of Rundqvist. U.S. with another defensive lapse, and the Swedes are offside.
That time it was a giveaway by Brian Leach, and the goaltender Richter extended his stick and made a nice save. There's Thomas Rundqvist, an excellent penalty killer. He played 2 games for the Montreal Canadiens a couple of seasons ago. Then he was sent down to the minor leagues. And you know, he's actually blind in one eye. He had a vision problem, an illness, when he was a younger player. and he wears that shield, and it's really astonishing to see him play center ice and have a problem really seeing and moving the puck.
And because of that, he would be ineligible to play in the National Hockey League.
Right, exactly. Mike, what's the condition of the ice surface? So the pucks look like they're bouncing all over the place.
I'll tell you, John, I'm down here at ice level right behind Lindmark, and it is pretty bad. And, you know, it's difficult here because the ice is in for the first time, and the players aren't too pleased with it. But I think it would affect Sweden more than the United States because Sweden likes to pass the puck a lot, and they really strive on their passing abilities, but it is pretty bad.
It's 2-0, and the shot by Brown is blocked in front. And then as it's backhanded in, it's taken away by the Swedes, and a good pass up ahead to Bergqvist. Over to Rundqvist. He couldn't get Wood on it. And then it's loose in front, and the shot comes in off Bergqvist's stick, saved by Richter. And Johansson able to clear it for USA. As Stevens then loses the puck, and it's taken again by Johansson to center ice.
And looking at that giveaway by Weinrich for that last goal, I would think that the puck was bouncing there, and he had some problems controlling it because of the ice surface.
Richter then backhands it up over the glass and into the seats with 15:52 to play in the period.
There's an interesting story in Peter Laviolette, who you are looking at. He played for 4 years at Westfield State, a Division III college. And if you can imagine how much he has improved to be able to play on this team, it's quite a story. Some say the Walter Mitty story of the entire club.
Tied for the team lead, as you see, in penalty minutes with 82. He is tied with Guy Gosselin at that figure. Bourbeau chasing it along with Shieldstra. And the two spin around. Loose puck is backhanded. A great save by Lindmark. Great save by Lindmark. And all the way down the ice it comes. Laviolette with the touch and the icing call, and we'll return to Denver right after this message.
Hi, I'm Mike Frederick from Winter Chevrolet in Amherst, New York. During our Let's Make a Deals Day, we're going to reduce our gigantic inventory of new and used cars. For example, this 1985 Caprice for $55 down and $175 a month. Or how about this 86 Eurosport for $55 down and $125 a month. So what do? Pick up the phone and call us at Winter Chevrolet, 716-837-7600. Or better yet, come in and let's make a deal at Winter Chevrolet. What a place.
Open Monday through Saturday, 9 till 9, Sunday, 11 till 6.
Denver, Colorado, where the United States team, the team that will represent the U.S. Saturday in Calgary, wraps up its pre-Olympic schedule. Sweden on top by a score of 2-0. Team skating in equal strength. 15 minutes and 24 seconds remaining in the second period. Brian Leach had it momentarily, taken away by Hildebrink. Steve Leach fires it in around the boards, and Hildebrink behind his own net for Team Sweden. Up ahead to Jens Erling. He leaves it on a drop pass, and the slapper goes wide. Comes back out to the point, and the American's able to clear. This is Steve Leach chasing it, but all the way out of the net, as he's prone to do, comes Lindmark to help start the attack going the other way. Erling over to Samuelsson, and he drops it into the corner, and the Swedes change on the fly. Norton starts back the other way. Still has possession of the puck. To Fusco. He loses it. Snuggerud scraps for it. Up to Norton. He has it taken away. In comes Eriksson. He loses the puck. A penalty is coming up. Richter is out of the net. Sandstrom couldn't control it as he darted in behind the net, and we've got a penalty coming up on Team USA. So the Swedes will have a power play with 14:18 to play in the second period.
Well, you know the bad news.
Charlie Carlson is in the meeting of his life, and his shirt is perfectly dry. But that doesn't mean he smells good. Because Under Armour odor is invisible, he needs total protection. Sure Solid.
If everyone would take a look.
Sure not only helps protect against wetness, it actually kills bacteria that cause odor. So, Charlie, why go to work with a dry shirt and a false sense of security? Use Sure Solid, and be just as sure about odor as you are about wetness.
We'll see here as the Swedish player makes a quick cut. Norton hooks the elbow and knocks him down. And it's a power play for Team Sweden. Jeff Norton, 2 minutes for hooking. And that was Lars Molin, former Vancouver Canuck, that made that offensive play to draw the penalty.
And Sweden now with its second power play opportunity. Each team had one in the first period, and neither was successful. Sweden on top 2-0. Slapped in, save, stick save by Richter. Cleared out.
And that was Lars Molin standing right in front of Richter and trying to screen the USA goaltender. This Swedish power play, they like to jam the front of the net and feed their defenseman for the point shot.
Now Molin, and the shot goes wide off the stick of Sandstrom. Anderson has to regroup at center ice.
Watch this 15 yellow play. Sandstrom, Ulf Sandstrom, his rights are owned by Chicago. And Bob Pulford's their GM. He's here in the audience tonight, and he has to be drooling with what he's seen in this game to this point.
Just 20 years old. Molin to Samuelson. From the point. In around the boards to Molin. He's checked by Weinrich, and Weinrich is able to clear it with 1:03 now remaining in the power play. And a penalty coming up. A collision out in front of the Swedish bench, and a penalty coming up.
It will be Sandstrom who tripped Johansson as both teams were making a change. The penalty killers for Team USA, who have been excellent over this Swedish power play of 1 minute to this point, had gone to their bench to make a change. Sandstrom was going to his bench to make a change. He reached out with a stick and simply upended Johansson. So the teams will be at even strength for 1 minute, and then a power play for Team USA.
Exactly 60 seconds remaining in the penalty to Norton as Sandstrom now goes into the box for Sweden. 13:17 remaining in the second period. And under international rules, each team skates a man short, 4-on-4.
That's right, Al. When both teams are given minors at the same time in the National Hockey League, they still play with 6 players aside on the ice. Here, under international rules, if they're both given minors at the same time, they will both play short a man. Which I kind of enjoy. It opens up the ice surface. It
absolutely
certainly makes for pretty passing and for some great skating. Remember, the Olympics will be played on an ice surface that will be 15 feet wider than what we have here in Denver. And that makes for some exciting hockey.
Oddly, the United States has played most of its games on the smaller sheets of ice because most of the rinks in North America are the smaller sheets, the smaller size. Mike, what's shaking?
Well, I got a question for JD. John, I'm watching Lindmark in goal, and he, as you mentioned earlier, he likes to sit back, but he also seems to play in the middle of the net a lot. That to me seems kind of different. Is that a European style of play?
He's very experienced. One thing I've been impressed is how well he has stood up, Mike. He stands up almost erect, very little bend in his knees. And you're right, he plays the angles well, but he plays deep. When you play deep, you have to make sure you stay in the middle.
Teams at equal strength, skating 4-on-4. Lindmark leaves it behind the net. Now up ahead to Bergqvist. He starts back the other way. Bergqvist fakes the shot as he comes in over the blue line. Then his shot and a save. Gosselin tries to kick it away, gets it up ahead to Snuggerud. He's pressured. Now Brown controls it. Pass for Leach. Too long, offside. And we'll have a face-off in the neutral zone.
One thing about Lindmark, with his experience of being 31 years of age, and you can see how many Canada Cups he's played in right there, he's very loose. He has a very solid sense of humor. And when you're a goaltender and you have that good sense of humor, when it comes times when pressure begins to build, it certainly helps to be a relaxed person.
12 seconds now remaining in the penalty to Norton. When he comes out of the box, the U.S. will have a power play advantage for exactly 1 minute. Time left in the period is 12:20. And now Norton comes out of the box. So the United States for the next 60 seconds with a man advantage. With the USA chant filling McNichols Arena. Weird carom off the boards. McDonald tries to get it to Steve Leach. He can't gain possession of it. And out it comes and picked up at center ice by Mikael Anderson, and swept away by Brian Leach. Great play to Young. Up to center ice and sent back in by the Swedes. Time left on the penalty. 28 seconds remaining in this power play. U.S. having trouble getting grouped as Young now shoots it in around the boards. Leach keeps it in from the point. Over to Steve Leach. No relation, not even spelled the same way, Brian and Steve. Fusco scraps for it. Lane McDonald to Steve Leach, and he loses possession, and the Swedes are able to clear it. So they're doing a good job killing the penalty, which they have effectively done because the teams are now at equal strength.
They certainly don't sit back. They challenge the man with the puck, and it doesn't matter what area of the ice it is. When you see them kill penalties, there's an offside pass.
Look good, but illegal. And we'll be right back after this message.
Meet the ladies of the 80s, Western New York women who are juggling marriage, a family, and a career.
It's a hard job to work and to have children. And you have to teach them that this is the only way it can be done.
How do they deal with the pressures? What are the sacrifices? What are the benefits? Would they do it all again?
I'm doing it because this is what I want to do.
Join Channel 7 reporter Lori Lazowski for Having It All, beginning Wednesday on Eyewitness News at noon.
Here's Mikael Anderson, well, killing a penalty, working on Brian Leach, and Brian Leach comes across and plays it perfectly and controls the puck. Mikael Anderson there, you see him, number 12, calls himself the Swedish Gretzky. He has a great sense of humor, enjoys the game, and if he happens to score a goal, he likes to do something rather crazy after he scores it. Who knows what it is? He doesn't even know.
He should probably have a chance to do his thing on a given night in front of the real Gretzky. So Wayne will have a chance to take in at least one or two of the nights of action at the Olympics. Not in uniform, though.
I would think not. I'd love to see it.
This is Miller in to get it. He centers it for Janney. Loose in front. Snuggerud couldn't get the shot away. And back it comes. Weinrich knocks it down with his body. And Miller tries to leave it for Weinrich, who scraps with Laviolette and Anderson, and the loose puck comes out. Sweden trying to circle and jam it in is Ulf Sandstrom, but he hits the side of the net. And finally the puck is tied up and a stoppage of play with 10-12 to play in the period.
Some pretty good checking in the USA zone by Miller. Kevin Miller, who has a brother playing for the Washington Capitals. Kelly Miller, another brother, Kip, who belongs to the Quebec Nordiques. Kevin's had problems with ribs, Al. He's wearing a flak jacket. He had broken 2 ribs, and they say he's healthy enough to play. He's trying to play probably with some discomfort. The flak jacket, of course, is sized perfectly to fit the hockey player. Hopefully he'll be able to get through it.
And the United States will now make a goalie change here with Terreri coming in at just about the exact halfway point in the game. 10-12 to play in the second period. And so there is Chris Terreri, who comes in to spell Richter. And we'll take 5 seconds for station identification on this, the Freedom Sports Network.
Channel 7 Buffalo.
So Terreri now in the nets with the team skating at equal strength. Sweden on top 2-0. 10:04 to play second period.
Sweden had outshot Team USA 19-12, so Richter with 17 saves, and Richter actually played pretty well.
And again, Dave Peterson not yet naming his goalie for Saturday night. Donatelli over to Stevens, but it wouldn't stay down for him, and it's cleared away by Sweden.
Now we will see a different style. Richter, a stand-up goaltender. Terreri, more of an acrobatic style player. As the teams get their sticks up a little bit. That's Kevin Stevens along with Eldebrink. Kevin Stevens, a big boy. He goes at 6'3", 215 pounds. He's played a lot of left wing for Team USA, but after the Olympics, look for him to play right wing with Mario Lemieux in Pittsburgh, and that should be something to see.
Once again, a reminder, the number is 800-592-6000 if you'd like to contribute to the furtherance of amateur hockey in the United States through AHOUS, the Amateur Hockey Association of the United States. 1-800-592-6000. Face-off near center ice with 9:38 to play in the second period. So Richter went halfway. Gave up 2 goals, and now Terreri the rest of the way as Team USA gets ready to depart to Calgary.
Like a flop, huh?
Gosselin back as Terreri shovels it along the boards, and it's kept in by Sweden. Centering pass, but behind Pedersen. Back out to the point and not kept in. Came back out, and so we'll have an offside. And we have 9:12 to play in the period in Denver.
Dianetics by L. Ron Hubbard. Buy your copy at B. Dalton's, Walden Books, or wherever paperbacks are sold. A fresh look at today's problems.
The United States against Sweden, final game for Team USA prior to the opening of Olympic competition Saturday when they'll meet Austria at the Saddle Dome in Calgary. Sweden on top 2-0. 2 nights ago, the United States beat Sweden 9-7 in Colorado Springs. So a game tonight of a completely different sort. Steve Leach battling along with Lane McDonald, and the puck finally extricated and passed back out to center ice.
What we've seen here, as opposed to Saturday, is some fine goaltending to this point. Lindbergh has been very sharp for the Swedes. Richter was strong, and Terreri, I understand, finished well in that game in Colorado Springs. As you look at Scott Fusco. Now, Scott Fusco and Corey Millen both played in the '84 Olympics. Millen is not dressed for this game, but will play in the Olympics. Mike, what's going on?
Yeah, Alan, J.D., remember today when we talked with the Swedish coach, we asked him who he was impressed with, and he mentioned Brian Leach, as everyone seems to do, but he also mentioned that he was very impressed with Chris Terreri and the way he played in that final part of that first game.
Terreri the other night gave up 4 goals in the second period after he came in for Richter, but then he was able to shut Sweden out in the third period, and the American team came from behind to win it 9-7.
A very tough thing to do in sport is be a goaltender and come off the bench and have to go in cold.
Miller up ahead for Janney and broken up nicely by Schielstrom, and offside is the call.
Chris Terreri belongs to the New Jersey Devils of the National Hockey League. They too enjoy the rights of Sean Burke, the fine Canadian goaltender. So some pretty good talent as far as goaltenders go. Now Terreri, he played his college hockey in Providence, played in Maine of the American Hockey League, and then spent a little time with New Jersey. And it has to be quite a challenge mentally for Terreri and for Richter to wonder, will I start the Olympics? And Dave Peterson said he may announce Saturday, may tell the goaltenders themselves Saturday.
It wouldn't be unprecedented, but it's not quite what he had planned, because a month ago he was saying he wanted to settle on a #1 goaltender well prior to the start of the games, but that in fact has not been the case. Brian Leach passes up ahead to Clark Donatelli, and all the way down into the Swedish zone, where the first man to touch it is Eldebrink, and thus will have a face-off out in front of Terreri. Time remaining in the second period, 7 minutes and 49 seconds. The Swedes with a goal in each of the first 2 periods, on top by a score of 2-0.
There you can see the size of the Olympic ice surfaces, which they will be in Calgary. They will play in 2 different arenas in Calgary. The standard size of a North American arena is 15 feet, not quite as wide as the Olympic width. And the Boston Garden, where you see more hitting in one hockey game, is the smallest, maybe in North America.
Face-off in the U.S. end. Yell, number 14, and scrapping for it in the corner is Sandstrom, whose shot is well wide, kicked in and kept in by Samuelson. Up ahead to Donatelli off the carom.
Both clubs with some solid hits. Both teams, Gosselin taking some and giving some. The Swedish club, Al, looks like they enjoy playing along the boards.
Tonight they have. Up ahead to center ice to Eldebrink. His pass to Samuelson. Nice pass in front, back to Eldebrink. And the save caroms wide. Back comes Donatelli in on the left wing. Donatelli leaves it for Leach. His shot slides through the crease. Backhander by Jones.
Leach made that little move, and that made the goaltender drop to his knees, but he missed the net.
Cleared by Eldebrink. Back to the point to Steve Leach, and the save by Lindmark. As the action really heats up in more ways than one.
Well, you saw the hitting over the last 4 or 5 minutes, and tempers start to flare. Leach moved in on the goaltender. Lindmark delayed his shot, and Lindmark, the goaltender, then dropped, but Leach put the shot wide. Prior to that, the Swedish club, with a long cross-ice pass right near center ice, set up a shot, and Terrari made his first save. Or at least had the shot towards him. It was blocked. Here the official calming things down. Both teams will get penalties.
Mark Rudolph is going to send Eldebrink into the penalty box for 2 minutes. And Bourbeau, Alan Bourbeau for the United States.
I will ask, okay?
Watch this long ice pass. This is called the strong side of the ice where the puck is. He moves it to the weak side of the ice, right across. Boom, there's that long pass. See how wide open he is? Now they can set up some sort of a goal-scoring chance, and the puck may have been stopped by one of the players. If not, Terrari made the save. Now you'll see Terrari with some action right in front. The same play. Look at him read the play through all the action, and the puck did not go in. With that save, the American team went down to the other end of the ice and made a play. You will see right here the long shot by Leach. It drops, and the goaltender had no problems with vision. He moved out and made the save. And Bourbeau had his head rubbed a little bit to say hello to the Swedish defenseman.
He was an innocent victim at the outset, but they both wind up in the penalty box. And in addition, there's another penalty to Brian Leach of Team USA. And so, in fact, Sweden with a power play chance here, skating. Well, the teams are skating 4 aside at the moment, even though there are 2 penalties listed up on the board for Team USA. And I think what they've done is mistakenly put Leach's number up there. It's just Bourbeau who goes in. Teams are skating at equal strength.
I would love to see Leach back on the ice with this open ice surface, with each team having a man in the penalty box, and watch his skating skills take over.
And 1:19 now left in the concurrent penalties.
Here's a look at Bourbeau in the penalty box, taking the helmet off to cool off somewhat. Interesting player. Bourbeau and Barrasso, Tom Barrasso, the goaltender in Buffalo, played high school hockey together for 3 straight years in Boxborough, Acton Boxborough High School in Massachusetts. It's been quite a team to have 2 players of that caliber.
Reason for the confusion is they put Brian Leach's number up on the penalty time clock when he is not in the penalty box as Janney starts back the other way. Janney gets taken down by Tomas Eriksson. And now it's Norton, whose centering pass is deflected to the near side and brought back out by Sweden. Brown gets it over to Norton. He's looking for Janney. Janney can't control the pass. Taken away by Kihlstrom for Sweden. 35 seconds now left in the coincidental minors. Kihlstrom skates all the way in, looks for help, wheels, and the shot saved by Terrari. Norton cross ice and a dangerous pass and momentarily intercepted as the U.S. again regains possession.
Neutral zone, all 4 players for the Swedish club in that neutral zone. And they're marking the opposition rather closely. See, they break up the play again in that neutral zone. Pretty good checking between the blue lines by Sweden.
Peter Anderson dragged by Brown. Both penalties are now over. Teams at full strength, loose in front. Johansson couldn't get a stick on it to get the shot away, and it's brought back out to center ice. And now in again with Johansson, getting no help. Taken down nicely by Gosselin. To Johansson. Alan Bourbeau, slap shot wide to the near side. And a bouncing puck in front. Samuelson kicks it along the boards to try to clear it. Kept in. Snuggerud can't get a shot away. Yelm. Yelm shooting it into the corner with 4 minutes to play in the second period. Sweden on top by a score of 2-0. Scott Fusco now. His pass too far. And Eriksson back to get it to the Swedes. He leaves it for Kihlstrom. Up ahead, intended for Sandstrom. Terreri backhands it along the boards. Kept in, and now along the far side, it's McDonald coming up with it. To Fusco. He gets it back to Lane McDonald, who skates all the way and out in front. The shot by Fusco and a save.
Fusco setting up the man with the speed, and that's Lane McDonald, and he went to the outside and set up the shot by Fusco, but it didn't get through. Nice play by the American club.
And a penalty coming up here on the U.S. A penalty coming up on Team USA. Swedes have a power play when we come back after this message.
Want to go for a spin? I'm a wheel watcher. I'm a wheel watcher. Every day. I love to play. I'm a wheel watcher. I'm a wheel watcher. Become one now. I'm a wheel watcher. Fun to win.
No penalty. This collision coming simultaneously with the icing call, as it turns out.
Boom. So, two big players bumping. That was an icing call. The face-off back inside the Swedish zone. With that big hitting going on, the fans are starting to get very involved here in Denver. And you see the shots on goal in the second period. 10-4 in favor of Sweden. And a lot of that has to do with good, solid neutral zone play by that Swedish club.
Overall in the game, the Swedes have outshot the United States 19-12. Crowd getting into it very much so with 3:19 to play in the second period. But the Swedes again win another face-off and bring it into the American end, where Berglund's shot goes in. Berglund through a screen by Weinrich past Terreri.
We mentioned Terreri likes to drop down. He drops down on this shot, but he doesn't pick up where it's coming from as Weinrich skated right in front of him and tried to block it himself. And you'll see the shot, just a good solid low shot. Weinrich caught in no man's land as he was trying to get out from behind the net. You see number 5 move across. And the key to that play was a good low shot. And Terreri drops down. And it's a 3-0 Swedish lead. And Weinrich not having a great night at the office here. He's been on for all 3 of those goals.
So Sweden on top 3-0. Bergqvist getting the goal with 3 minutes now remaining in the second period. Pettersson's shot comes in on Terreri, who makes the save. And back down into the Swedish end. 16:52. Up to center ice to Tom Eklund. Eklund and Norton scrapping forward along with Jenny, and a whistle for a face-off. We have 2:36 left in the second period in Denver, Colorado.
I'm gonna get away. I'm gonna go somewhere, relax, take it easy, you know? Where do you want to go? Bloomingdale's.
No matter why or when, Northwest can fly you to over 220 cities worldwide.
Get a fully automatic 35mm Kodak camera, free, when you buy 10 rolls or more of Owens Corning pink fiberglass insulation.
3-0 Sweden. 2:36 remaining in the second period.
It was interesting. E.M. Swift, who writes for Sports Illustrated, has done quite an article in their Olympic edition on this Swedish youth hockey style and their squad and for the Olympics and what they've done to prepare and how they won the World Championships. And he mentioned in that article how their coach Sandlin set up the neutral zone play. And in this game, Al, we've seen wonderful neutral zone play from the Swedish club.
They lead 3-0. And putting the pressure on here in the closing minutes of the second period. Jim Johansson cross ice now to Clark Donatelli, who sweeps it back out to center ice. the Swedes come in offside, so we'll have a face-off coming with 2:04 remaining in the second period. The United States on this pre-Olympic tour against colleges and universities, 20 wins without a loss in one tie, against NHL teams in exhibition games 2-2, and against other teams 2-2, with a mark of 13-8-4 overall against international competition, encompassing that tour against the Soviet selects, several games against Team Canada, and of course these 2 games now against the Swedes.
And they've given most people in the United States a chance to see this club play.
It's Sandstrom nearly stealing it from Brian Leach and unable to get a shot off. Yell puts it in behind the net. Sandstrom can't get it for Sweden as the U.S. tries to clear it. Young couldn't clear it, and it's kept in by Yelm, who backhands it wide. And now Gosselin gets it up ahead to Jones, and Jones is able to clear the zone. And goes down as well in the process. Now the loose puck taken by Brian Leach. And he has it poke-checked away by Lars Carlson nicely.
The good players like Leach having trouble controlling the puck. That puck would not lay flat when he tried to make the move in the offensive zone. And Leach, who has not rushed too much here in the second period, I think is just simply having trouble handling the puck. Now, we mentioned how Lindmark, is 31 years of age. Not many European goaltenders have come to North America and played well. Pelle Lindbergh played great for the Philadelphia Flyers. This club, the Swedish club, averaged 26.7 years of age. That's an older club. And what they're doing is setting up for the World Championships, which will be held next year in Stockholm, Sweden. And then after that series, or after that World Championship series, this team will move aside and have a lot of the younger players move in. But they're an older club. The American club averages around 22.5 years of age, much younger.
1:10 remaining now in the second period. Steve Leach centered it in front, and nobody in a blue shirt was there, so it comes back out to center ice. Lane McDonald tried to get it up ahead to Steve Leach, and it's taken away by Rundqvist. Rundqvist circles, waits for help. Kept in by Rundqvist for Eldebrink, who scored the first goal of the game. He sets up in the slot and tries to get the return pass, which doesn't materialize. And Scott Fusco comes away with it for the U.S. This is Sodergren now. In along the boards, and Terreri leaves it for Laviolette, but out in front to Sodergren, whose shot is high. Anderson takes it in the face, and that's the reason for the whistle and the stoppage of play here. Mikael Anderson, number 12.
You can see it clipped him below his right eye, and he will be headed to the locker room, I would suspect, for repairs as the puck caught him.
13.
A solid hockey player.
Yeah, you got a nice one.
Is Mikael Anderson. I mentioned how he likes to overreact when he scores goals. Last year they beat Canada 9-0 in a game. He scored the 7th goal, and he came over to the Canadian bench, dropped down on his knees to celebrate. And you'll see the puck came off of one of his own teammates' sticks. He caught him below the eye. A nice round of applause here as he heads towards the Swedish locker room for repairs.
And so Anderson leaves the ice with 13 seconds to play in the second period, accompanied by the Swedish trainer.
Anders Widerstall, I think is how you say it. I think I had the Anders correct.
Anders. As the second period now comes to an end. And in the second period, the Swedes do all of the scoring twice to increase their margin to 3-0.
Well, the Swedes are the #1 seed going into the Olympics, and they played a very solid 2 periods to this point. The American club, I think, will try and open it up somewhat for their final period of play coming up before they head to Calgary.
So 20 minutes of pre-Olympic competition remaining for Team USA, but at the end of 2 periods in Denver, and this the 60th and final pre-Olympic confrontation for the American hockey team. It's Sweden 3 and the United States nothing.
It's a big game, big boy. And that basket seems mighty high. But you know you got the stuff because your mama got you off the ground this morning with a real winner. Howdy ho, wheat, time to float. 'Cause you don't wear no sugar coat. You just can't beat that pure whole wheat. Now go tell your mama what the big boys eat.
Fancy perfumey aftershave. Gotta be a cornerback's locker. Real guys who aren't afraid to get mud on their uniforms use rugged, honest stuff. Ice Blue Aqua Velva. Its icy blue formula makes your face feel great after shaving, and Aqua Velva's got a scent that a lot of fans find attractive.
Very attractive. There's something about today's Aqua Velva man.
So you still think linemen are dumb?
All right. Okay, the first president to live in the White House.
Oh, who was John Adams?
Right.
Okay, presidents for 200.
Wow, Alex Trebek.
He wasn't a president.
Jeopardy! Jeopardy!
History for $200. The answer is the site of Napoleon's last defeat. Mike.
What is Waterloo?
Correct.
I'll take potent potables for $100.
Gee, the drinks in this place are expensive.
The answer is gin and vermouth.
Oh, what's in a martini?
Good.
I'll take food for thought for 300.
Let's make this an audio daily double.
Why will my fried eggs be scrambled today?
That's right. It's time for Final Jeopardy.
Final Jeopardy? Oh.
The category is Ancient Egypt. The Final Jeopardy answer is exact chemical formula of the fluid used to embalm King Tut.
King Tut?
Put it on my tab.
Watch Jeopardy weeknights at 7:30 here on Channel 7.
Oh, be sure and phrase it in the form of a question.
Back here to McNichols Arena in Denver, Colorado, after 2 periods of play, Team Sweden with 2 goals that period leading to Team USA by a score of 3-0. If you happen to be walking through an airport and you see a bunch of hockey players and maybe some announcers walking around with a red, white, and blue coat that says CB Sports on it, the gentleman here to my left, Brad Lagmo, who is the director of corporate sales for CB Sports, sponsored the Olympic hockey team with their, I guess, outer apparel would be it, as well as their commentators. We picked up some coats today. But, Brad, how does a ski company, America's #1 ski company, apparel-wise, get involved with the hockey team?
We got involved about a year ago, Mike, and actually for 2 purposes. Number one, for the exposure that it gives us, but more importantly for the opportunity to get involved with American athletes and the Olympic quest for the gold medal. It gives us a tremendous opportunity to support hockey in the United States, and also an opportunity to get involved in other areas besides ski wear.
What did you actually sponsor this year's team with?
We gave them all of the merchandise or the outerwear that they wear as they're traveling to and from. Nothing that they wear on the ice, but everything that they're wearing as they travel around the country to play the respective teams.
Now, is this something that is kind of just for the Olympic Games, or maybe an involvement that you see CB Sports being involved with down the road?
We're making a tremendous effort, Mike, to get involved with various sports around the country. 14 of the NFL teams are currently wearing the merchandise on the sidelines, as well as an effort with Dennis Conner and his America's Cup Challenge. And also cycling is a big part of the CB Sports offering now, and also into the equestrian field.
You're not doing anything with the horses, though.
We're not doing anything with the horses, no.
Well, Brad, you know, it's interesting. We've had, throughout the course of the year, been able to talk to various sponsors, and we know how important it is to get people that will be a part of the program. And again, I congratulate you and thank you for your commitment, and look forward to more things that CB Sports is going to do.
Thank you very much, Mike.
We'll be back with more. Alan and John Davidson will deal with me in a minute, so we'll be right back after 2 periods. Team Sweden 3, Team USA nothing.
People react to a Sports Illustrated sneak preview.
And the pops these guys were taking. I mean, you could almost feel yourself going, ooh. I mean, and feel your stomach contracting because you knew you were going to be hit.
They just saw a hilarious new video cassette offered by Sports Illustrated. The all-new NFL Football Follies, hosted by Jonathan Winters. It's 45 minutes packed with the kind of follies you love, and you get it free.
I get it free? Come on.
You get the all-new Football Follies free with your paid subscription to Sports Illustrated. Call this toll-free number and get 25 weeks of America's best sports coverage, including the baseball preview, the swimsuit issue.
That's the icing on the cake.
And the 300-page Winter Olympic preview. You even get the SI Olympic pin set. All for 3 monthly installments of $9.89 each. Even put it on a credit card. You'll save over 47% off the cover price and get the Football Follies free. Call 1-800-678-8400.
I like everything.
I think you should call.
Okay.
Whom do you turn when you need a friend? Someone who's there through the thick and the thin. Found a friend in offer, a helpful friend and guide, who's always on your side. Oh, finally found a friend. The joy inside that is bursting. I finally found a friend, and she is my friend. Yes, I found a friend in no crime.
Weekdays at 4 on Channel 7.
Ujima Theatre Company proudly presents Hurley Victorious, the Ossie Davis comedy classic that spoofs plantation survival tactics in the ultimate put-one-over-on-the-boss scheme.
Oh, child, being colored can be a lot of fun when ain't nobody looking. Ain't it the truth?
Partly outrageous, partly uproarious, it's Hurley Victorious. Weekends through February 28th at Theater Loft, 545 Elmwood Avenue. Call 883-0380 for tickets.
The point is, of course, that alcohol is a way of life in our society. The driver received 48 hours in jail. He was fined $300, and his license was taken away from him for 6 months. That was considered to be a severe sentence for a person for whom this was the first offense. And my son has a lifetime sentence. This driver, of course, did not.
Stay alive. Don't drink and drive. A public service message from WKBW-TV.
Second intermission, Team Sweden leading the United States 3-0. So a wide open shootout the other night in Colorado Springs that wound up with the United States winning it by a score of 9-7, and a game of a different sort tonight, 3-0. You know, Mike, talking about how you want to end things prior to the Olympics, and we talked about the way the U.S. was blown out in 80 but looked good in 84, and yet the Olympic results were exactly the opposite. How much credence do you lend to a performance like tonight's thus far for the United States?
Well, not that much credence, to be honest with you. I mean, they want to play well, obviously, and they want to keep primed up and set their goal and objective as far as playing well going into the games. But, you know, you're looking at the game tonight, and Granado's not playing, and Millen's not playing, and there are a lot of players that are kind of on the fence. They don't know if they're going to make the roster or not, so they're a little nervous. And you have the other players like Leach and Miller who have played the whole year. It's their 60th game. They don't want to get hurt. They want to make sure they get to Calgary in fine shape and ready to play. So it's a tough game to play. And the difficult part is it's Sweden. And they're the defending world champions. They want to have a good outing against them, but, you know, it's the 60th game, and I think that's more in the back of their mind.
Yeah. John Davidson, if you were Dave Peterson, what would you be most concerned about tonight?
Well, I think when you look at the other clubs in the Olympics, Al, you look at Czechoslovakia, their best player is their goaltender in Hasek. You look at the Canadian club, their best player is their goaltender, and that's Sean Burke. And I think right now he's wondering about who am I going to start in goal, and he has a choice right now between Terrari and between Richter. They have a third goaltender with them. They will carry 3 for the Olympics, and John Blue. But that has to be what's sitting in the back of his mind, I would suspect, going into these Olympics.
You need a goalie, you need a scorer. Mark Johnson was the guy in 1980 you could count on. And then Pat LaFontaine with the 84 team. Who's going to be the guy they look to in 88 to score the goals?
I don't think they're going to look to one person. I think they have such good depth. On any given night, any one line can carry them. But if there is one player outside of Leach that I think is going to have to score the big goal for him, I think Corey Millen.
John, we talked about the Olympic schedule. What about the possibility of looking forward, looking ahead? They know they've got Czechoslovakia. They know better than anybody they've got the Soviets a week from Wednesday. How do you avoid looking past Austria Saturday night?
I think that's up to the coaches, and I think right now you will see that the coaching staff for Team USA will be very well prepared for every club, including the Austrians. They have seen them play. They have a scouting book on that club, and they realize that points are very important against those clubs. And the players themselves, they have Millen and Fusco, who were both there in '84 in the Olympics in Sarajevo. They're good leaders. They'll be prepared. Believe me, you don't work all year to set up for this Olympic series in Calgary and say, listen, let's look past the Austrians. It won't happen.
Mike, for a change, it looks like the Soviets are a little vulnerable this time around, even though they still will be favored.
I'll never believe that. Sean Burke played outstanding in the Izvestia tournament, and that's why they were successful. Jimmy Craig played great in Lake Placid, obviously, and that's why we were successful. But they're still awfully good. I look at them when they played in the Canada Cup Series. I watched all 3 games, 6-5, 6-5, 6-5, 2 games in overtime. Gretzky, Lemieux, Ray Bourque. It's going to be tough to beat the Soviets.
All right, we'll take a look at the second period highlights when we come back. We've played 2 periods at McNichols Sports Arena in Denver, where Team Sweden leads Team USA 3-0, and we'll be right back.
Well, you know the bad news.